This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Yeah, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey Jason, what do you got for us today?
Well, I got another series from a writer who was supplied the subject for like many of these podcasts, and that is Rick Remender. It's a guy who's started out doing like his own creator owned work through Image and Dark Horse before hitting the big time at Marvel. It's like with runs on it's like on Punisher and especially on Uncanny X Force and Uncanny Avengers. It's like he's since gone on to bigger and better things like in the creator owned world, specifically through his his ongoing titles like Deadly Class, which is adapted into a TV series on Sci-Fi for a season, as well as Black Science. And but he's also done plenty of other titles as well, stuff like Low. It's like the Scumbag. It's like a righteous thirst for vengeance. It's like see and I'm from seven to eternity. It's like I've talked about several of these. It's like in fact some of them I've just talked about once on the blog because well I just didn't want to read more after that first volume just basically made me go nah. It's like I'm not interested in that. But the thing is though like Remender like he's got like easily identifiable style that's all about high action like his character like as stuff explodes around characters or they're going through like it's like a great distance or great it's like a great action. It's like while they so they rationalize their actions and pontificate about them in the it's like in the caption boxes around them. And also, dude loves grinding his heroes down because as bad as things get, like these people are still gonna trying to persevere no matter how no matter how awful things become for them. Now, when he does this right, it's like it can be like exhilarating. Just like it's like a like a thrill like a thought provoking like thrill ride that just gets you that sucks you right in and just doesn't let you go until until the final page. When it's done wrong, then you're just kind of like you, like you're just like your aggravation just like boils over. It's like and you just real and you just stop reading after the first volume, or it's like you get to the end of the volume and you start thinking about you know how could I have done this better? Well, we get kind of like the quote unquote best of both worlds with his latest series called The Sacrificers. 4 volumes, 21 issues, and it's a fantasy series that sharp-eyed readers will find takes place in the same universe as Seven to Eternity. Um, Now it's like don't expect a lot of like any meaningful connections between those two series aside from just like a few a just a couple references to Emperor Zal of Emperor Osiris of Zal. But it's interesting to note that like he's that this is like either just like an I don't think it's like he's working on building a shared fantasy universe here, but it just seems like it's Easter eggs for like for fans who like me who keep reading stuff he does. That's nice. Sacrificers, what's it about? Well, it takes place in this kingdom that's ruled ruled by gods who manage like all the it's like all the things like from the rising of the sun, the tides of the moon, like how the water flows. It's like and how the plants how the plants grow all through their actions. They basically given a like they're like the people who live the gods like have basically given the people that live in their lands. It's like everything they could ask for, and the people are like well it's like they're living the good life. It as long as they just abide by one little thing. Some people just have to give up one of their one child from their family when the gods demand it. Just one kid, and that's and one and we're introduced to one such family, a a group of anthropomorphic pigeons because this is a world where where that has regular humans but also just anthropomorphized animals as well, and this pigeon family is forced to give up their it's like their one son, even though they know that this is something that's come down for a while, because like the kid doesn't even have a name. He's just Pigeon, because they knew that he was going to be selected. And so as and so we for the first volume we got basically follow like Pigeon, like as he's like taken from his home, marched up to the like to where the gods live, and well, it's like we find that maybe things aren't going to be as bad for him as it's like as he thinks they are, until well we find out that yes, they are actually that bad. But never fear, it's like the the daughter of the sun god Rokos, Soluna, she like has is like so like upset about how it's like how unfair and uncool her parents are, and how they're like how they're just like well, her dad really is just like being a real dick, as he rules over everyone. Well, she decides that she's gonna like find out the secret to their like to like their life extending like elixir, and just make them pay. But well, things go badly for her, so badly that she is stripped of her godhood by the end of the first volume, and Pigeon finds himself in possession of some incredible power that may allow him to change the world. It's like going forward from here. Um, I thought that the first volume it's like did a good job like establishing like the world, even if it felt like a first volume as first issue, because you don't really get a sense of where the series is going until you get to the end of the first volume, and you see that that bit with Pigeon, getting the power he like getting this incredible power. And then the next two volumes basically follow the twin paths of Soluna falling further and further. It's like into it's like into disrepute, and the and pain, and just struggling to survive. It's like and Pigeon just finally getting a handle on it's like not just like how to use this power, but like should he use this power as well, and also and also in and also just finding a way to maybe like get an ally or two in his quest to like overthrow Rokos and the iron grip he has on like on the world at large. It's like it's like the first three volumes like basically set up a generally entertaining like fight the power narrative, but with some like familiar Remender style speechifying, as there are a lot of points where I people like shout it's like ideas at each other, or arguments, rather than just like try and have a reasonable discussion. There's a exception to this in like in the third volume, where Pigeon wind, winds up having a actually an actual talk with Rokos's like brother, to about just what like kind of world he wants to have, and that was kind of interesting. But overall, it's like the like these first few volumes are just all about like the whole fight the powers like setup, and it's got and but also has some really solid art like throughout. Surprisingly so for the first volume, because as I mentioned on the blog, this art here, majority of the art in the series comes from Max Fiumara. Um, Fiumara is a guy who came on my radar years ago because he was one of the contributing artists to um, Mike Mignola's long running BPRD series with John Arcudi. But he was also probably one of the least impressive artists for for that series, mainly because his art had this like weird, wiry, off-putting look to it that was good at drawing weird monsters, but it didn't really like draw it in a way that was really cool or appealing, the way that like regular BPRD artists like Guy Davis, Tyler Crook, and James Herron made it look like. Now, I've seen him do better in later later works at DC and elsewhere, but this the work that he delivered in the first volume of Sacrificers was some real next level stuff. There's a like gone is like the off-putting wiriness. In its place is like this lush attention to detail and just a way that like really feels like it like gives it like the world. He gave the world and his characters some real texture, some real like emotiveness like to their like to their actions. It's like it's he gives this world like a vivid like visual style, and I was just like blown away by what he did there. Fantastic, and it's like and the series is like and be honest, like I was more impressed. That was the most impressive thing about the first volume. It's art because like it just took like it basically showed work from an artist I was not that impressed with before, and basically made me go, wow. It's like Max Fiumara really does have the sauce after all. Now, Fiumara didn't do all of the series, like is pitching in for very for issues like here and there was Andre Lima Araujo, who did Remender's A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Now, that it's like now Araujo doesn't have like the same kind of like style as Fiumara. He's got a much more direct, like fine, simple lined work look to his work. That doesn't have like the same kind of like texture, but it's still really good at conveying like immediate kinetic action, and it's like and like the simplicity is also good for drawing you in too. He does solid work, and overall it's like it's like even though like these are like the styles of these two artists like aren't really complementary, they're still good on their own terms. I just kind of wish that well like if you're not going to have like one guy do the whole thing, then maybe just next time just try to find some guys whose art styles like complement each other just a little better, just for because stylistic consistency is always a good thing, especially in a short form creator owned series. Speaking of which, it's like I said, the first 3 volumes were all about like the fight the power. Well, volume 4, the concluding volume, well, basically shows you the resolution of that in short order, because these 6 issues basically wrap the whole thing up. And well, okay, this is where this is where Remender starts to lose me, because you've heard that whole aphorism about better to die a hero than live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Well, guess what happens to Pigeon here? That's right. So even though like he is eventually able to triumph, so to speak, with some help, well, we find out that he was just like not in the right position to actually like deal with like like usurping power from the gods. And well, and it's just I don't know, it's like I just and like the final 4 issues of the series are just all about everything that he's done, just falling apart, and just but also just like in the worst way possible, because like even though like we're told that he's got a plan, he's building a device that's going to save everyone. Well, it's just too little, too late, because the people that have are just like fed up with having to wait 3 decades for things to get better, and they're not. And just when they were about to get better, whoops, they destroy the one thing that was going to save them, and now Pigeon's just said, oh, fuck them all, man. It's like, but but then so it really feels like in the end like Remender was trying to force like this idea on force a conclusion rather than let it come naturally. Now, I don't know the circumstances of how the series wound up wrapping up with like issue 21, because the series like is described on the back cover as being a smash hit, which okay, I can understand like need to project and all, but I just wonder like why did they try and like wrap things up um so hard with so quickly in these final four, like, four issues, or and that's just because really it's like, even if, like, this was Remender's plan all along, it just feels like it's way too compressed, and just, like, really presents, Pigeon as being, like, like, dumb, and it's like, and lacking in foresight in a way that, doesn't feel like in line with what had come before. So, and also, when we're told that, he's not going to let his sons, bear the same, like, burden that he did. Well, we found out that, like, turns out that, their abilities, like have like like their ability to, like, rejuvenate the land just seems to be, like, completely inconsequential, or just, like, without any real issues. So it's like, why why were you doing why are you, like, not letting them, like, have this burden when it doesn't look like there was no burden for them to bear at all? It's it's weird, it's frustrating, it's disappointing. It's like, it takes, like, a series that, I was perfectly, like, that I thought was perfectly enjoyable up to this point, and just kind of like, rams it right into the ground in a way that just, makes me wonder, huh? It's like, do I really want to keep this on my shelf? But oh well, it's really kind of disappointing, like, because, like, this is it's like the ending is one of those things that's really disappointing, in the sense that it does kind of drag down the series as a whole. Because, like, it's hard to just, like, think about rereading the series again, just knowing, like, how it's going to wrap up, and knowing that, like, I'm just gonna, like, see disappointment at the end. But overall, it's like, it does have its good parts. It's got, like I said, it's got great art from, like, from Max Fiumara and Andre Lima Araujo, and, it's like it's like, and the characterization and action as choreographed by Remender are really quite solid up to a certain point. It's just that, man, that ending is just, uh, really disappointing. I mean, it's not enough to just, make me go, maybe, like, lose hope in Remender, period, because, hey, I've been around the block with, like, this guy several times, and, like, all he's delivered enough stuff that I want to keep, seeing what he does and how well it's going. Like, he can at least deliver, like, stuff of a certain quality that can be good, if not great, or, well, it can also just, like, go off the rails. It's like, in a way that, like, it's really kind of disappointing as it is here. Now, Remender does have a new series coming out right now called, Escape, um, anthropomorphic, World War II story, like, inspired by his grandfather's experiences in World War II, which, that's it's an interesting start, like, to the series, and I'm it's like, and it reteams him with his Uncanny Avengers collaborator, Daniel Acuna. I'll have some thoughts on that later, but I'm I'm interested in seeing where it goes, as well as whether or not it winds up being just, like, 12 issue series, or longer. But then there's also his his next series, Doomfist, which is looks to be a let's see let's see a superhero anti superhero sorry super superhero anti-heroes, like, the story about this guy, like, by the name of Doomfist, who like, who wants like, who sees the world as ending, but wants to try and, make things right with his, like, with his daughter. The setup kind of worries me that we're gonna, like, see the writer lean into his most, like, egregious, like, issues, when it terms of, like, having characters, like, wallow in like, self-pity, while just, like, be, being unable to, like, turn their fates around. But it's gonna have, like, good art, because, it's being illustrated by Steve Epting, and I'll buy it to see where it goes. But who knows where, like, how that'll be. But final word on the Sacrificers, not bad, but it's something that's really weighed down by its ending, which was honestly pretty crap. So there you go, everyone.
All right. So, do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Not 100% sure yet. I guess it'll be a surprise for me, as well as a surprise for you and everyone else listening too.
All right. We'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, later, everyone.